But there's a full rise. Let's go dancing in the light. On this Aries moon.
Welcome to Metaphysical Soul Speak. I'm your host, Elena Fox Starks. Hey guys, I hope you're doing really well in this moment in time, and that whenever and wherever you happen to be in this amazing world, that you are able to breathe through the anxiety. It's come to my attention in the past couple hours that everyone is feeling this anxiety. And it's really strong. It's strong. Oh my God. It's, whoo. I feel it between my high heart, just below the throat chakra, and above the navel, which is like the third chakra. So between, it's kind of like the heart chakra, and it's like a shock energy and an anxiety. And I have absolutely no reason for having this. I asked, hey, is my twin flame feeling it? Yes, he is. But I'm like, I feel like it's more than him, because I could breathe through stuff with him and we're fine. I will take it from him and transmute it, or I will telepath with him and we will work through whatever's going on with him. But today, like 2 or 3 hours ago, this started, and it's been like, oh my God, what is wrong with this? How are we feeling this? And then I'm like, oh, maybe it's the people in the complex where I live, and nothing's going on. We've got water, we've got electricity. It's cold. It's really cold since yesterday. But other than that, everything's fine here. So that can't be it. I've been alone all day, and that usually helps me to relax. So I started really delving, and I started asking, and Prime Creator told me everyone's feeling it. Everyone on Earth right now is feeling this energy of trepidation. Now, I'm sure that the Trump supporters are a little bit worried right now, and possibly rethinking this anti-mask sentiment, hopefully. He is in the hospital right now with COVID. It's like, we kind of knew it was going to happen, because he's around people all the time. He's been exposed by other people that had it that didn't know, and he doesn't wear a mask. Calls it a hoax, and now he's in the hospital. It's kind of scary, Now I don't buy into the energy of, it's his karma, or, there's been some nasty things. People are making memes about this already. They're laughing about it. I don't find it particularly funny to laugh at somebody who has an illness. I don't wish that on my worst enemy. I don't wish it on Trump. I don't wish it on anybody. Melania has it. She's not in the hospital right now. She's resting comfortably in the White House, last I heard. So I think that's a big part of it. I think people are like, oh crap, that means Mike Pence is in charge, but he's been in close proximity to the Trumps. He might have it. He might test positive in the next week for it. My friend was like, well, if Pence has it, then that means Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi would be the next in line for the presidency if something should happen to the president and the vice president. And I'm like, ooh. And it might be a temporary transfer of power. It's possible, for the next few weeks. But another weird thought occurred to me, and I did not ask. I did not ask my higher guidance at all. I kind of don't know if I would get the answer anyway, because I feel like quite possibly it's a wait and see for everybody. But I was thinking that what if all of the candidates got COVID and died? It's a horrible thought, but I thought about it and I'm like, well, that is in the realm of possibility. Everything is in the realm of possibility, in the field of all possibilities. And what would happen? Would that be the end? No more presidents? Would Nancy Pelosi just be the president for the next 4 years? Would we have an election? When would we have it? Isn't that a weird thought? I'm like, wow, what would happen to something? I mean, is this a designated survivor situation? Love that show, by the way, but it's crazy. I mean, I was just like, whoa. And maybe that's the trepidation I'm feeling, and that might be some anxiety that's going. I think that a lot of the weather-related things are occurring, making people upset. The whole West Coast is on fire, even on up through Oregon. John Hogue was interviewed by Whitley Strieber. I highly recommend Whitley Strieber, unknowncountry.com, or you could go to his YouTube channel and hear the first hour for free. He said something that was disturbing, and I think that might be contributing to this anxiety thing. Not what he necessarily said. It's not like everyone heard it, but there might be a thing in the psyche, at least of the American people. And when the federal government had Chief Tecumseh killed, there was a curse placed on the American government that every generation will lose a white leader because they caused the red man to lose a leader. And it's a strong curse, and every 20 years after that, we've had a president assassinated or die one way or the other. We lose a leader every 20 years. Now, except that, and the two exceptions are because in every 20 years, there's a specific conjunction astrologically. And I don't know if we're at that now. I'm not saying we are, because I was not able to hear the second half of the show. So I don't know. I have to go. In order to hear the rest of it, I'm going to have to go and look at unknowncountry.com and probably subscribe, which I'm not opposed to. My husband and I, when the kids were little, we subscribed to Unknown Country. We listened to Whitley and Ann every Saturday. It was like a ritual. We'd wake up, have breakfast, and turn on Unknown Country and just play with the kids and pet the cats and hold hands and listen to the show. That was like our Saturday. Most Saturdays, or Sunday, So I love Whitley. He's awesome. He was a regular guest on Coast to Coast AM with Art Bell. I think he might be on Coast to Coast with George Norrie, but I'm not sure. But anyway, he said that in the past 40 years, so like basically 40 years ago, was when Ronald Reagan was, there was an assassination attempt on Ronald Reagan's life. And then 20 years ago, it was when Al Gore won the election, and it was the hanging Chad incidents, like something to do with the ballots, the company they bought the ballots for, like the metal rod that you use to cast the vote, like to push it through. The ballots themselves had the hanging Chads. So that was an issue, and it was so bad, and it took months to unravel it. And Al Gore won the popular vote, and he just decided, basically George Bush W had the Supreme Court decide, even though that's illegal, that goes against the Constitution and the laws, but they did anyway, and it was an assassination of Al Gore's political career. He's still alive. So, but in those years, there was a different astrology. This year is the astrology where in the past, 100 years ago, and every 20 years since, there's been, an assassination of a president. So I don't think there's going to be an assassination, but I mean, he is in the hospital with a deadly virus, a potentially deadly. It's like what, 2% deadly. It's not terribly deadly, but he is super old and eats McDonald's every day, so there's a potential. And I think that potential, and I'm not saying I wish it to happen one way or the other. I'm a little concerned about it, because I don't want to see anyone suffer. But once I heard this thing about Tecumseh today, I was like, whoa, this is the year for it. I mean, it could be that Biden wins and but I don't know. And I don't want to guess, and I don't want to speculate so much, but I just wanted to throw it out there that might be part of the anxiety. Every 20 years we lose a president, or, at least the last time it was only the presidential candidate's career was lost. But in a lot of the American people felt like we lost. We just lost. Like, even though he won. And actually, when they went through and counted all the ballots with the Chads and whatever, he actually won the Electoral College and the popular vote. He won the whole thing by like 92%. And yet, for some reason, he conceded, and no one knows why, really. But it was the end of his career. Boom, just gone. Every 20 years. We're at that crossroads again. So that might be it, at least in the United States, right? But just people that have written me and just what they're writing and the language they're using and the energy behind the words, even if they don't say it specifically, I'm feeling this anxiety. And it's not good. It's not good. I think it's because we just ended the tail end of a 3-day solar wind stream. It was making us tired and sleepy. A lot of us were getting headaches. Like last night, I had a headache. It started in the front of my head and then went on the left-hand side and then went all the way back to the back of my head. And it got so bad after like 5 minutes, I'm like, I'm going to get up and take something. And I went to sit up and it was gone. It was a fast headache. Just boom. It was just changes. So we've been going through stuff like that. Lots of ascension symptoms, a lot of tired energy, a lot of pain physically, just a lot of stuff going on. So we just came out of that. And even though we were having the symptoms, in a way it was like a high. Like, just like we're basking in the glory of God for a moment, right? The prime creator energy, like, yeah, pure, raw energy. And then all of a sudden it's gone. And it's almost like, when you go to Disneyland or, a park that you love or anywhere you love and you have the time of your life And then you get in the car and you go home, and that is the saddest energy ever. And you just feel so disappointed and let down. And why couldn't this perfect day have never ended? It's the saddest energy. I mean, leaving Disneyland for me is like I cry. I like cry every time. It's so stupid, but it's like, I know Disneyland is there. I could go again, but it's so expensive. It'll probably be a couple of years, and it just makes me cry. I mean, for me, it's kind of an emotional thing because my grandpa built a lot of the things at Disneyland, and he put the roofs on a couple, like It's a Small World and the Lincoln Theater. So those are the things I go to every single time, even though I'm sure that the roof has been replaced since then. But there's like a nostalgia there for me because we always had the ticket books back when everyone had to get in with ticket books. You pay to get in, they hand you the ticket books. And, we'd always use up our e-tickets right away. And we come home with like 1 or 2 A tickets and a couple B tickets. And once in a while, we would still have a C ticket left. My grandpa had tons of the ticket books. And you had to use a ticket to get into each ride. That's how it used to be. You rip out the ticket paper. You could actually look on eBay. People still have them and they still sell them. And it's the biggest trip. I mean, just to even look at them online, it's like, whoa. If you could get an e-ticket, my God. I mean, those are the funnest rides. Pirates of the Caribbean. That was an e-ticket. But we just pulled out of this amazing energy. The full moon was last night, starting at 5 a.m, and that's over. And it's like we had all this, what felt like the support of the universe from the sun and then the moon, and then it's over. And it's like, oh. And as soon as that full moon hit, the Trumps were tested positive for coronavirus. That was crazy. It's like, wow, October 1st. First day of the month. This is how this month is starting? The whole world filled with anxiety and, the craziest entertainment show on earth was those debates the other day, I guess. I don't know. I didn't watch it. I'm not going to vote. I really am not. And I'm not going to encourage you guys to not vote. But my dad always said, vote your conscience. And my conscience says, don't vote for child molesters and child rapists, and I don't know about Biden. I can't say for sure he is, but I feel really creeped out by him. And my candidate, of course, would be I think is Jill Stein, maybe running for the Green Party ticket, but if I voted for her, it would still not really do the country any good because the Green Party people never ever win. And I voted for them in every election. Every election I voted the Green Party candidate, with the exception of Obama's second term and the exception of, I think, Bill Clinton's first term. Right, because I never would have voted for him the second time. But yeah, and those are the only times in my entire life that I didn't vote Green. Maybe before, no, because I worked on Ronald Reagan's campaign, but I was still 17, I didn't vote. Then I saw him speak in public, and I decided I'm probably not a Republican. And then the next presidential election, I was already trying to help establish the Green Party in California. So yeah, I've only ever voted Democrat twice, and every other time has been Green Party. So I don't know. I mean, I don't think my vote counts much anyway, but I think that might be part of the anxiety. I really feel like it might be. And the anxiety of the ongoing craziness with the pandemic and how everyone is opening up and now a lot more people are getting sick. It's so obvious that was going to happen. But I don't know what the anxiety is, but I want to tell you guys, look, last year I did announce it, but I can't expect you guys to remember everything I've ever said. And I cannot expect you to have listened to all 555 episodes tonight. I'm pretty sure today is 555. And everything's been lining up. I mean, earlier, I think I saw I did see 66 today. I saw 55 a couple times. And now I'm telling you guys, this is episode 555. So, I think so. I mean, what's 192 plus 364? Anyway, whatever that is. Maybe it was yesterday. I think it might have been yesterday was 555. But, yeah, crazy, right? 555. So, last year I was feeling a lot of anxiety and I was about to go to bed, and as I was laying down, all of a sudden, this little fairy, this beautiful fae, and it was an interdimensional fae, maybe not an earth fairy, because fairies are all over the universe. They're not just in Earth. And I think it was a fae from another planet even. And this fairy had come, and it was turquoise and blue, kind of a cobalty blue and turquoise. And this fae whispered in my right ear, and you always know it's a positive, high vibrational being when they whisper in your right ear. And I mean, at least that's what I was always taught. And this being said, I feel your anxiety and I'm going to help you, and this is what you do. And projected to me the technique where wherever in your body you feel the energy of the anxiety, you just take a very deep breath and you open a little hole in your aura or your chakra or whatever, and it's going to be a hole that is self-repairing. It's going to seal over as soon as you're finished, and you just leak out, you breathe out dark cobalt blue. Imagine the anxiety is dark cobalt blue. And so that's what I do. And I just take a deep breath and just and there it is. And I just let a lot of anxiety go. And I don't know why exactly that this being told me that anxiety is dark cobalt blue. But I did find out, or I did figure out, that I feel very calm with the color cobalt blue. And I don't think that anxiety itself is necessarily a color. It might be a different color for you. But if you blow out the energy of cobalt blue, this energy is going to calm you down, because you're going to look at the color in your mind's eye. You're blowing out, which also gets rid of anxiety. And then you're literally pushing energy out that you don't need. And I see it as, and this being told me, look at it as a smoke, like a very thick smoke. And I think that the reason why it's not like a black smoke, white smoke looks like an actual fire, black smoke looks like an oil fire, or also people have negative energy attached in their mind to black smoke, or just black in general. Like a lot of people will see that color and think, ooh, it's evil, it's from the devil, it's whatever. It's not necessarily true. Black is a very calming and nurturing color for a lot of us, but we might have subconscious negativity surrounding the color, black. So I think that's why the being's not saying black or gray or white. Anything that can look like an actual real fire, you don't want. You don't want to associate that with your physical body or your emotions. So I think the cobalt blue, it's like a mystical fire, right? It's a mystical thing. And so, he just showed me, you just open up in your chakra or in your aura. And hello, I just saw a couple little fairies on my bed. They're playing the foot of my bed. I just saw them. They appeared for just a split second and then they disappeared. But I still feel them. Oh my gosh. Hi guys. Hi. Oh, it looked like a little energy like kind of waved at me. And a minute ago, I saw a little white light fly by me. I love the fairies. Willowish Tuatha Sadig Shigar Malif. All right. That opens a portal for them if they wish to come through and let themselves be known. I love the fairy kingdom. I think they're happy because I'm talking about one of their own. So anyway, so you open up just a little pinpoint hole, and then you push, when you blow out your air with your mouth, you imagine that you're really blowing out the cobalt blue smoke, and it's a mystical smoke. And the other thing is, then you imagine it just dissipates into the air, into nothingness. It really does get rid of the anxiety. It's something that when my son a few weeks ago was, we're in a fight, he was causing a fight, and he was yelling at me. I started breathing like that, and he's like, that's not going to do anything. And it did everything. It got rid of all my anxiety. He didn't see it happen, anything, but he's also an empath, and he's like, that does nothing. And I know he knew it did something because I know he could feel my emotions. It's really hard when two empaths that don't see eye to eye on anything and they live together. It's ridiculous. But, actually in the past few weeks, everything's been great in that front. September was a really hard month, the first couple weeks of September. And remember, September was living 12 days every day. 12 days of intense spiritual growth. It was like a whole year of spiritual growth in 1 month. And October is 6 months in 1 month. So we have now suddenly become, we could breathe, we're expansive. I've been feeling the energy of the universe. I've been feeling that, but then I feel this anxiety. So it's like I'm feeling two different things. And I have to keep consciously focused on the energy of the universe to kick out the anxiety. And I keep using that cobalt blue smoke idea. And another thing is, and this is a really strange one, but I asked Prime Creator about it, like what happens if, you're going about your day and you have a conversation with somebody and out of the blue, they throw you, they throw throw you for a loop is what I was going to say, but it's like they kind of throw a wrench in everything out of nowhere. They just flip the script and suddenly they're like, I don't want to talk to you anymore, or I'm not going to be involved with you anymore, or I don't want to be your friend anymore, or everything, you're getting along and all of a sudden they flip the script and then they're like out of nowhere mean. And I was asking about this today. What happens when you're going about your day and all of a sudden the person that you're dealing with, whether it's someone you know personally in your day-to-day life or someone you're talking to online, or something happens and then they're having a bad day and then they take it out on you. What do you do in that case? And God showed me the weirdest, the really, really and truly like the weirdest sort of exercise to do. And it was hilarious, made me laugh. And so basically, like somebody said something really ignorant to me today. Someone I don't even know. I don't care. I don't know them. But it was like, what? And I was like, God, if I had been anyone else, that might have been really hurtful. I don't care, whatever. But they said, obviously, I listen to this news and that news, and I don't know what I'm doing. And I'm like, you don't even know me. I don't listen to news at all. I read, but whatever. But I'm like, there's like every now and again, there's people are really nasty online. And I'm like, I've noticed that some people get very, very affected by this. So what do we do? And, and somebody I was talking to was like, I'm not going to talk to you about spiritual things anymore. And that kind of hurt me a little bit. I'm like, well, it's like my whole world is spiritual stuff. That's all I ever want to talk about. It's the only thing I have a passion for, like where I can talk about it day and night, I mean, I could spend an hour talking about engines versus motors, or something mechanical. I could spend, 10 or 20 minutes talking about politics till I get bored out of my mind. I could talk about anything. I could talk about cooking. I could talk about, movies or TV shows or ideas or, but I could spend hours talking about the universe. But I could spend the rest of my life talking about, spiritual things, but I could spend hours talking about music. I love music, and I read a lot, and I like to have deep conversations, but I'm like, well, what happens? And somebody wrote me yesterday, and he started writing me, and he's like, I want to be your boyfriend. I love you. I'm going to love you. I feel like I have a connection to you, and I want to love you. And I'm like, you're not my twin flame. I know who my twin flame is, and you're not him. And you're very sweet, but I mean, and he's like kind of pushing me to have a relationship. So he's probably a narcissist, and he's just like a random stranger online. Like, dude, you started writing me like a few hours ago. How could you say all this stuff to me? It's crazy. And I don't want to block him because he's actually right now still being sweet. But I'm like, okay, God, when he flips the script, what do I do? It probably won't hurt me, but like, if I feel a little bit hurt, what do I do? So God gave me the weirdest image, and I thought it was freaking hilarious. He says, what you do is you kind of, okay, this makes more sense. Okay, when you think about a snake that sheds its skin, what happens with the snake is the layer that was protecting their body just like kind of grows off of them and it becomes like a milky color. And then they shed out of it when they're ready. They just kind of crawl out of it. Well, God gave me this image, Prime Creator gave me this image of, like, I put a layer of energy, kind of like maybe around my prana energy or whatever, put what looks like a big body condom. It's the only way I could describe it. That's what it looks like. And he said, and like, where it's on top and it's like a shield over your whole body. And you could put an energetic shield around you. And I try to all the time, but I don't always think about it. But he said, what you can do is you could put from the inside out, you could generate it, like from your chakras or your aura if you want. And you just kind of push all the energy that was put on you by other people. You kind of coat yourself with this big, huge body condom like energy. And then you push everything out. And so like, let me try to think about how else we could put it. Like, if there was, I want to say almost like a pin cushion. You guys know the little tomato pin cushions? And there's pins sticking out of the pin cushion. And what it is, it's a foam ball with a layer of cloth over it that looks like a tomato. And it's kind of like glued on, and then there's like the needle sticking out of it. But if you can imagine you were going to unravel the fabric from the foam ball and then lift it up, all the needles would remain in the fabric, but the foam ball is fine. So, I mean, that was kind of the way he was showing me, almost like if you were going to peel a cactus from the out, you peel it from the inside out, and you just shed that skin and all the needles sticking out of the cactus are gone, right? So, and you think about the way that people say nasty things, about your hair, your clothes, your politics, or whatever the hell, things that don't really matter. But when people have venom because they don't know how to act, and they send darts at you, they send needles or spears or whatever kind of weird energy, and they don't know they're doing it. It's all subconscious because they're sleeping. They don't know. But it can stick in you and you feel it. It's like, what the hell? It's like someone just shoved a needle into me, It's like, it doesn't have to be like someone has a voodoo doll about you. It's just, it could be anything. Like someone thinks something negative, or they shoot you the evil eye, and now suddenly, that, looks can kill. And sometimes it'll stick in you and then it'll bother you, because it sticks in your aura or your chakras or your whatever, and it can cause anxiety. But so anyway, so God gave me this little funny little exercise. So you imagine that you stand up, and you imagine that from around your feet is like the edge of like what would be the condom. And then from the inside, because you're inside it, you grab the edges of it and you pull it up over your body. And then you imagine that now you pull it up and you take all the darts and all the pins and all the spears and all the whatever that someone has sent your way. And this is the hilarious part. He says, then you imagine that you're putting it on top of their head with all the darts and all the shit that they sent you and all their negative energy on the inside. So you put that on top of their head, and the part that was, on the inside against your energetic body is now on the outside of them. So it's like you flipped it inside out, and all the darts and all the shit that they sent to you is now in like a full body condom around them. And now they get to feel what they sent you, and they can't dissipate the energy until they somehow atone for it. Now, you don't have to think about that all the way through if that bothers you. You're not really harming another. You're just sending their energy back to them. Return to sender, baby. Address unknown, right? It's just returning it back to them. But I thought that was like a brilliant visualization of what you can just, whoop, nope, sorry, this one's yours. Like, taking off a sweater. And when you take off a sweater, sometimes it's inside out, and then you put it on them inside out. and what they had sent to you is now sticking into them, and they can choose then to deal with their own energy, because sorry, boom, this belongs to you. Oh, you know what? I think the spear, this needle, this pin, this sword you just popped into my back. No, honey, this one's yours. I'm going to put this one in your back, and you can decide what to do with that. That's yours. That's not mine. This is not my circus. These are not my monkeys. You're the clown that sent it. That's your big top, baby. I'm going to just top that off. I'm going to top you off with that. I mean, seriously, like those are the two exercises that I came up with. I mean, well, the one from, last year, and then God sent me this one today, like this image. It was like I'm like, Prime Creator, what do I do with this? When someone says something or they send a dart my way. Like, someone had said something like 6 or 7 months ago to me. I honestly don't remember the post. I don't remember the person. I don't even remember any of it. But I do remember that someone had said something super nasty to me that had nothing to do with what I said. I said, love and light, and I send you blessings or something really sweet. And they came at me with a completely, how dare you try to send me anything? And I think this person was mentally ill and very angry. And I woke up in the morning and this person was screaming in my ear, calling me names. And I was like, what the hell? And then I had a message request, and it was just a voice message, and I started to play it, and it was the same voice I'd heard astrally. And she had sent a bunch of darts my way. And I was like, who the hell is this person? I don't know this person. And I mean, I just wrapped that up as a bundle and threw it at her head, energetically. This is yours. You need to think about. I'm throwing it at your head. You got to think about that, what you sent me. Because I don't need you to play with me like that when you're not even spiritually awake, right? So this is yours. Gonna top you off. Gonna put it on top of your head. It's gonna be your little hat. You got a little hat. How do you like that? and then I put up a wall. You can't send anything to me my way. And so this person, she started screaming and yelling, you're a this, you're a this, you're a bleep, a beep, a beep. And I was just like, and there was no beeps. She was just screaming. I literally, I stopped it after a couple seconds. It was like a minute-long message, and I stopped it after a couple seconds. I'm all, nope. And I immediately deleted, blocked her, restricted her. She has no access to me at all. If she went back to the original post, it looked like I had erased my message. It's like, I don't play with people like that. I block so many people when people are just super negative out of nowhere. I just block them. I don't even think about it anymore. It's just like, psst. But sometimes people will send those darts to you. It's freaking weird. But that is it. Just do the condom one. There. That's yours. The energy will dissipate when you atone for it. When you realize what you did, and then you feel bad, and you say, oh, I'm so sorry. All right. Then it dissipates automatically. Anyway, it is what it is. The world has gotten weird, and the anxiety is there, and people are not knowing what to do with the energies, especially when they're not awake. So you got to protect yourself. The number one thing is just imagine there's a big white egg energy around you. Not the egg energy necessarily, but the shape of an egg around you, and just make that like a solid wall of strength. Fill it with white, powerful, golden white light, and that will protect you. But if things get through, the darts, the needles, the swords, whatever the hell they're sending you, even if they're not consciously trying to hurt you, usually people aren't. They just don't know what they're doing. They're just like randomly doing whatever they don't know. If everybody was aware of energy the way that I've become aware of energy, then nobody would ever do that. Or if they did, you would know it was on purpose. Then you know what to do. But it is what it is. I did draw today from the Everyday Witch Tarot, the Hanged Man, card 12. This is an adorable card, by the way, in the Everyday Witch Tarot. Basically, the Hanged Man traditionally is a man tied by one ankle, and the other leg is making the number 4. So his legs look like the number 4, which is a kind of a secret nod to the Emperor card, who is in charge of his kingdom. But the Hanged Man is somebody who is spiritually contemplating his world and his life. And he is in a state of illumination, or trying to achieve illumination. It's kind of a meditative card. He's not, because if it was a negative, the image of a hanged man normally is like a noose around the neck, and he's hanging until dead. But that's not what, in the tarot, the Hanged Man is always hung upside down. When you're upside down, you get a new perspective. You get a different vantage point. And so he's hanging upside down because he has flipped his whole world upside down to have a moment of silence, to stop, to relax, rest, rejuvenate, regroup, rethink before, taking a breath, taking a beat, taking a moment, pausing and reflecting. And that's what this card means. So I'm going to put up on my Facebook what the description for this card says, because it has some reflection questions, but that's what the general meaning of the Hanged Man is. Pausing, taking a beat. We lived 6 days worth of spiritual growth yesterday. Today was another 6 days worth of spiritual growth. And so 12 days within 2 days, but during September we did 12 days per day. So we are like, we're now expanding our consciousness again. We're relaxing again. Now, I got that information from Shri and Kara. And I'm going to tell you, though, John Hogue, in this Whitley Strieber interview, John Hogue did say 2020, to have 2020 vision. We're living in the roaring 20s again. 2020 is a year in which we will be living 10 years worth of spiritual growth in the whole year. So not only are Shri and Kara saying this, but also that's what John Hogue is saying. He's an Nostradamus scholar and master astrologer, I think. I'm calling him a master astrologer. He's amazing with astrology. So, woo! It's a big one, man. This is a really big month. But anyway, I'm going to get into the space weather thing. I wanted to let you guys know that time crystals are real. They discovered that time crystals are actual crystals that literally have something to do with time. They're physical. They found them. So I wanted to bring that up. There's an article on it. It just came out yesterday, and it's been around for like this idea, was speculated like 10 years ago, but they actually found these, and they're thinking if they can figure out a way to get these and manipulate them, we can have time travel. It was announced yesterday. We can have time travel. Oh my God. I think we already have time travel. Honestly, I think we've already been time traveling, probably since the 60s. And I feel like possibly they're announcing it now so that by the end of this year, they could go, hey, look, we've developed a time traveling machine or a time machine, but like we've already had it for 40 years, but they didn't tell us that, or 60 years. And I kind of feel like all of the time travelers, even the ones who claimed that they're a hoax, they might be onto something when they say by 2028 we go on time trips, time travel vacations by 2028. That's 8 years from now. So I have a feeling that this announcement to the public was somehow authorized by the government. Now they're going, okay, you can now let everyone know that this is a thing. Even though everyone knew it was a thing for 60 years. It's just my gut instinct. I didn't ask Prime Creator about it. I have no proof of it. It's just a gut instinct feeling that I've got. But either way, I wonder if we can't just, work with time crystals. I did see an article that made a wild claim saying that in potting soil are the physical time crystals, and that's what helps the plants grow somehow. I don't know if that was just a hoax or not. I haven't looked at it fully, but I'm like, I might be getting myself some potting soil. It's such a weird idea, there to be in potting soil. But last year I did do a thing with my coffee, because I know that time moves along a spiral. It moves clockwise. If you look down on it, it moves like clockwise and up. So if you move your coffee, that's what I did. I moved my coffee backwards in time, slowing down the vibration and concentrating on slowing down the vibration and lowering the vibration gently as I swirled my cup counterclockwise in a downward spiral to get my coffee that was cold back to the time in which it was fresh and hot. And I did this 2 or 3 times on different days, and it turns out that I was able to do that. It wasn't piping hot, but it was warmer, where it had been just like lukewarm. I got it to get like warm enough where it was acceptable. So, I don't know, just food for thought in case y'all didn't hear that one, because I got a lot more new people listening, so welcome aboard. And it gets weirder, man. This is just for me, this is like a normal thing. Trying to warm my coffee up by traveling it back in time. I do weird experiments like this a lot, and I love it. I love just thinking about it, because I know that we're all traveling in a spiral. We're all traveling in a spiral, and we're traveling in a spiral that's like, it kind of goes clockwise and up. But to go backwards in time, you got to go counterclockwise and down, obviously. It just makes sense, right? But I also know how to travel in time consciously, and I know forward is future and backwards is past, and over to the right is a side dimension, over to the left is a side dimension, but the ones to the right are 2% better. Every single one, hop one is 2%, hop another, it's another 2% better. Or, everything is 2% different, but it's 2% better to the right. It's 2% worse to the left. I did a lot of time stuff last year, so so I don't know if you guys are into that or not, but it's weird. I could sit here for hours talking about time stuff. All right. Solar wind speed right now is quite a bit slower than it has been for the past week. It's only 474.6 kilometers per second. We've had 6 days without a sunspot, and the neutron counts from Oulu, Finland are high. In fact, since yesterday, we've had a 1.1% change So we have more, 1.1% higher than yesterday. So we're at 9.6% of the space age average. Yesterday we were at like 8.4. So, all right. There are no large coronal holes on the Earth's side of the sun, and that means no more solar wind right now, thank God. We're taking a little break. It looks like we don't have anything coming. Oh, wait a minute. Did I not? I don't know. Maybe in the past day or two, there might have been an announcement that the solar wind might get here on the weekend, but I can't remember now. It would be nice to have a solar wind-free weekend, but we're having more cosmic radiation now that we have no more solar wind. I mean, I just told you 1.1% more neutrons coming into our atmosphere, and it affects us. You know, it all does. Now, NASA's all-sky cameras and the all-sky fireball network did report over the United States 21 fireballs today. 20 were sporadic. One was a southern taurid. And I think that's all she wrote. Oh, hey, it is a Moon-Mars conjunction right now on this harvest moon, and that's why I played it last year too. The Harvest Moon by Neil Young, God bless him. My husband used to play that song for us, and we would dance to it and sing to each other, and then, you know, in terrible voices, but laughing about it, and then crying because of how much we loved each other. Yeah, back before he got violent because of the brain cancer. But before that, he was like super romantic, and that, you know, we would listen to Neil Young and get all nostalgic and weird and geek out. So I always think about him when I hear that song. But it's a harvest moon. Yesterday was a harvest moon. Now, there's a beautiful and eerie as hell. It reminds me of Stranger Things, actually. This man got to take pictures of sprites. Christopher Suarez of Genoa, Italy. He wasn't trying to photograph the sprites. He pointed the camera at a thunderstorm on the 10th of September, which you could see here because he sent the picture in to spaceweather.com. But this was incredible. This picture, it almost looks like red angel wings. And on the tops of the red sprites, there were green ghosts. This is a very rare phenomenon that you barely ever see. It excites the oxygen atoms and produces an aurora-like glow. And the green ghosts were literally discovered 1 year ago by Hank Shima of Houston, Texas. He is a storm chaser, and everyone knows him as Pecos Hank, or Pecos, P-E-C-O-S, Pecos Hank. Only a handful of green ghosts have ever been photographed. This is cutting-edge research, and here's a picture of it right now. You can barely see. It's very, very faint in this picture, but really incredible. It looks like a giant red angel. So I don't know, guys. That's really, really trippy. Let me see here. According to the disclosurenews.it coming out of Italy, they only had power 9 on the Schumann resonance scale. So going to 2 days ago from heartmath.org, what they were reporting on Wednesday, the 30th of September at 2300 hours, they said, this is it. California was at 109 hertz frequency, and Hafuf, Saudi Arabia was at 0. Lithuania was at 149 hertz frequency, while Alberta, Canada was at 0. Northland, New Zealand was at 77 hertz frequency, and Hululu, South Africa was at, I know you guys are saying 0, but it wasn't. It was 160 hertz frequency in South Africa. So 4 places out of the 6 are reporting well into the 5th dimension, which starts at 40 hertz frequency, and the other 2 places are at 0. It's weird to me that it gets down to 0. I don't know why. I don't know why that happens. Go check out the time crystals thing. It's maybe going to keep me up at night if I think too hard on it. I'm like getting all excited thinking about it, actually. My mind's like, woo, now you have 2 days to overthink about the time thing. But all this time stuff, the timelines, the time hopping, the interdimensional stuff with time, everything about time really excites me. I love it. When I started to see the Matrix, I mean the actual Matrix, not the movie series, but I started to see the Matrix recently. It was almost too much. I had to stop trying to look at it. It was like I can't look at that right now. This is a little odd. But anyway, I'm going to take a quick break, guys. When I come back, we're going to go over the Earth Changes report, and then we're going to go over some weekly weird world news. Because I love to close out the week with a lot of cool and wild and weird news stories that might make you think, might make you laugh, and might put you in a great mood to begin your weekend. And a lot of you do save them over till Monday because it's a great way to start your week. So no matter which camp you are in, I will try to give you guys a really entertaining Friday episode. All right, I'm going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to hear the Kappa Boy National Irish School. I love these kids. They wrote this song, they sang this song, they performed it. You could actually go see the video on the Kappa Boy Irish School, a National Irish School website, or well, their YouTube channel. They're adorable. These kids, when you see a picture of them, when you hear their voices later, you'll never not see their cute little faces. But I'm proud of them and I love them. And I told them I was going to do this every Friday. So here we are going to listen to them again. And then right after that, we're going to get into the Earth Changes report and the weird news right after this. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's high time you did. It is the absolute easiest way to make a podcast. First of all, it's absolutely free. Second of all, they have creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. You guys have known that I've been doing this for 8 months using the Anchor.fm app right on my cell phone, and I have done it everywhere, right? I have recorded this in my living room, my bedroom, little cafes in Quito, Ecuador, all over Cuenca. It's so absolutely easy to make your podcast, and editing is just a snap. Anchor also will distribute your podcast for you, and it took me about 2.5 months to become syndicated, and now I'm available on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and many more, and so can you. You can make money from your podcast also, and there's no minimum requirement. You get paid from your very first listener. It is everything that you need to make a podcast all in one place. So please, if you are interested in making a podcast of your very own, do not hesitate to start with Anchor. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started today.
We can make a difference in our own small way.
It's one small change, we can do that today. Our mind's getting bigger while the world's getting smaller.
But saving the earth's becoming a tall order.
From the minute you awake from your nightly nap,
You can make little changes like turning off the tap.
while brushing your teeth in the bathroom.
You can cycle or walk your way to the classroom.
Cut down the fuel you used to get to school.
Pull in, let's carpool.
In your lunchbox, cut down the plastic. See, these things aren't too drastic. Spread the word, get vocal.
Make it go global. When buying food, stay local. Never mind the dishwasher, do it by hand. But I hate washing up.
Ah, come on, it's grand.
Just one small change in the little things we do. We'll show you how, and now it's up to you.
found out the earth was sick. We knew we had to do something quick. The earth is our family and our friend.
We need to mend it before it ends.
This is our home, so don't destroy it. Everyone should do their bit. Ice caps melting, seas getting high. Homes will be flooded, polar bears will die. The sun's getting hotter, the rain won't fall. I'm afraid we won't survive at all. Recycle the plastic, please, it's free.
You don't want that ending up in the sea. It's like people use this planet as a bin. Pick up your trash, that's where you begin.
Temperature is rising, we are realizing. We must act now, there's no compromising.
Just one small change in the little things we do. We'll show you how, and now it's up to you. It's our future.
It's our earth.
We need to protect it for what it's worth. It's our future.
It's our earth.
We need to protect it for what it's worth. If you cut down flowers and trees, you contribute to the mass extinction of the bees. Think of the creatures that don't have a say.
There has to be a better way.
There's no higher being to save the earth. We've got to do something before we get hurt.
At school we know what to do.
But my question is, do you?
Just one small change in the little things we do.
We'll show you how, and now it's up to you. It's our future.
It's our earth.
We need to protect it for what it's worth. It's our future.
It's our earth.
We need to protect it for what it's worth.
Just one small change in the little things we do.
We'll show you how, and now it's up to you. It's our future.
It's our earth.
We need to protect it for what it's worth. It's our future.
It's our earth.
We need to protect it for what it's worth.
All right, guys. So the latest news on President Donald Trump, for those of you, 75% of you listen from the United States. So basically, y'all know that he went to the hospital, but he was saying it was just a precautionary measure and no big deal. Well, I found out that he had pretty serious issues with breathing. He was very scared, actually. He couldn't breathe out of his sinuses, and his lungs started having kind of a pressure. So, I mean, if you find it in your heart to send him love and light, to pray for him, you know, because this is something I pray for all coronavirus cases, actually, because I don't wish this on anybody. This is just not good. It's a very scary thing, and I don't want to imagine it. I can't imagine, but I don't want to imagine it. I just hope that everybody recovers from it. But I wanted to get in real quick to the coronavirus numbers around the world. So, total cases from beginning until now is close to 35 million. I think if you listen to this Monday, we will have already had 35 million coronavirus cases around the world. 1,033,000 deaths. Recovered, almost 26 million people have recovered from it. Now, right now, only 1% of the people that have it are in critical condition. Currently infected people, 7.9 million. And 99% of those, though, are in mild conditions. So that is good news. You know, if you want to look at the glass half, the glass half full. So out of the closed cases, the people who have died, or cases that have had an outcome completely, okay, only 4% have died. Now, the last time we did this, it had gone down to like 1 to 2%. Now it is 4%. But 96% have been discharged and recovered from the disease, which is nice. That, you know, do you guys remember like 3, 4, or 5 months ago? Actually, it's more like 6 months ago. It was 21% or 22%, I think, were dying. it was really scary. It was like, oh my God, you know, like 1 in 5 are dying. But now it's only 4%, 4 in 100, 2 in 50 are dying. So it's sad and it's tragic, but it's better than it was. I mean, at least you could say it's better than it was. In the United States, they've had a total of over 7.5 million cases. Total deaths in the United States, 213,524 people have died. In India, they've had over 100,000 deaths. In Brazil, 145,000 deaths. But Brazil's had 4.8 million cases. India, 6.4 million. Now, if you want to look at worldometers.info, I'm not going to go into more of these. I mean, this is like in 188 countries or something. It's kind of crazy. But anyway, now we're going to get into the Earth Changes report. All right, guys. So usually on the Earth Changes report Fridays, I go to watchers.news, and you can go check out the stories for yourself. If you can't wait for my Friday report, you can always check it out during the week. And she adds stories, I think, 5 days a week or maybe 6. And usually she takes a break around the weekends. So we left off, I think, on the 23rd or something, but she didn't report anything until the 25th of September. Excuse me. So here we go. In West Yorkshire, England, they had an intense hailstorm and a tornado. I don't think this is normal. And I know that the week before, last week, we also reported that there was another tornado in England. I've gone my whole life and never heard once about the tornadoes in England. I don't think this is normal. I think this is abnormal. I remember growing up, I only ever heard of Tornado Alley in the United States. Maybe I'm wrong. And I remember when my kids were little, we had a tornado in Sacramento. We were working at a fair because that's what we used to do. My husband and I worked together, and my kids would be in the booth with me, and we would take turns walking the kids around the fair. They had fun. Sometimes not so much. But we were at a fair in, I think it was a county fair. It wasn't the state fair, but it was a county fair in Sacramento. And we had to evacuate. They're like, break down your booths and take your stuff. And then they said, wait a minute, just leave your stuff in the booth and just go home. Because there's a tornado just hit, touchdown just north of Sacramento. And that was crazy. I was like, whoa. So the weather's been changing for quite a while, but this one, man, England, I've never heard of this. If you're from England and you guys have had tornadoes all along and I'm just ignorant, let me know so I can announce it next week on the show. But if this is a new thing, I also want to know that, because it seems to me like this is relatively new. Anyway, so let's send love and light and sunshine. We do the Earth Changes report for 2 things, just to see what's going on. Out of, just curiosity, but also to pray for the people who might be going through a tough time due to the Earth changes. So, because this is a very changeable planet, so let's send love and light and sunshine to people in West Yorkshire, England. And remember our whale story from last week in Australia. And there were 400 or almost 400 pilot whales had beached themselves, and they were really trying hard to rescue them. A lot of them had already died, and they thought they might be able to save like 150 whales, but nearly 400 pilot whales actually died in Australia. This is the worst mass stranding of pilot whales on record. I don't even know what to do about that other than let's say prayers for the souls of the pilot whales, and probably the rescue workers are probably feeling pretty low about that. So let's send them some good cheer, energy, warm hug vibrations, and just pray for them, because it's got to be really hard and frustrating, to try so hard to fix something that you just can't fix. And whales are really special creatures, and it's just such a bummer. It's depressing. All right, so heavy rainfall was dumped by Medicane Casilda in Llanos. I don't even hardly know what I just read, to be honest. Medicane, I'm assuming that's some sort of like a storm. But Casilda is named the storm, and they have visualizations of it, like that shows kind of what happened. If you want to go to watchers.news, you could look at that, I guess computer renderings of exactly what hit, how it hit. I don't even know where Llanos is. I think it's in Greece. Actually, I think it's one of the smaller islands off of the coast of Greece, the main island there. An Antarctic blast brings rare September snowfall and unusually cold temperatures to parts of Australia. Oh God, guys, I'm worried now. It's like, I mean, they're having unusual snowfall and tornadoes in Europe and also in Australia. So these are the opposite poles of the planet, and things are starting to get colder. I mean, I really believe that this ice age thing, I'm starting to believe that's real. Let's send sunshine and warmth to Australia. I don't know if we could reverse this at all, but it's not necessarily, this is not good. So let's just send them some love, light, warmth, imagine sunshine. You could visualize or imagine sunshine there too. Wow, this is a crazy picture. Severe storms in Italy have produced damaging tornadoes, flash floods, and landslides. Wow. I mean, again, with the tornadoes in Italy, like that, it's becoming a theme. I don't understand, why this has happened exactly, but this is crazy. And space weather a lot of times has to do with wild storms too. So I don't know. There was a 6.2 earthquake that hit the south of Africa. It was a shallow earthquake. So I think, let's send sunshine to Italy. Let's send love and hug energy to South Africa. They say south of Africa, and I think, it's south of Africa. So it wasn't actually in any country. It wasn't even in South Africa. It was south of the continent of Africa. So I'm looking at the map here. It's kind of out in the ocean. So, I mean, probably no one was affected, but all right. Severe weather hits southeastern Europe, and 5 people died, at least. They think maybe more. Severe weather, again with the weather. So, worst storm of the season hits New Zealand, bringing disruptive snow and strong winds. So, Australia, New Zealand, I mean, these are the poles. This is where the ice age would hit. So let's send sunshine to all these places. Europe, New Zealand, Australia. And here we go. 830,000 people were affected in Sudan because they have been facing unprecedented challenges amidst I can barely say this word, amid the worst flood in a century. In 100 years, the worst flooding. Almost 1 million people. 830,000 in Sudan. Let's send them some sunshine. Basically, the whole world looks like it needs sunshine. I'm sitting here wrapped in a scarf. I've got several layers on, and I'm cold. It's cold here, too, in Ecuador, and usually it's, 10 degrees warmer at night. So, I don't know. In fact, there was a couple here in Ecuador that, an elderly couple, and they had a heater, the kind of heater that you buy here, that it's powered with, like you plug it in, but it's a gas heater. And I guess it was somehow burning up all the oxygen in their apartment. And they died. They suffocated. They asphyxiated because we're at 8,400 feet above sea level. So they probably had the windows closed because it was cold. And they just died like this past week, like a few days ago. This elderly couple, their dog died too. It was just sad. I mean, I'm worried about this cold, guys. I don't know what to do about it. And I mean, the solar minimum, the sun is hitting the snooze button. It needs to wake up and warm us more or something. I don't know. 225,000 people were affected as the third wave of flooding has now hit Assam, India. So let's just also sunshine for India, sunshine for Sudan. I don't know how you pronounce that officially. A strong cold front to push across the central United States, bringing significant drop in temperatures yet again. Remember, now this happened like a week ago, or maybe a week and a half ago, and here we go again. They're expecting another sudden drop. This happens when we're getting prepared to have an ice age. I mean, for real, this is... Oh, God, this might be happening, people. I'm just... oftentimes I told my kids, I love the sweater culture. I probably shouldn't have said that a whole bunch of times. Now I feel like... I like collect sweaters. It's like, because it's so cold here. I know a good place to go get sweaters. Maybe I should go downtown and get a few more. I mean, yeah, ugh. You guys just, get your goose down comforters, get those emergency, those metallic emergency blankets, keep a couple in your car. If you have 4 people in your family, keep 4 of them. Don't try to share it with someone, like, those metallic emergency blankets, because if the temperatures drop so fast, and keep candles and matches on hand. Especially the matches that can light if they're wet, get the good kind of matches, and just make sure. I mean, maybe even get a couple cans of chili and a couple cans of Sterno. I mean, just have it all in your emergency trunk, because even if you're in a place that normally doesn't get super, super cold temperatures, this can happen in a flash, And if you get stuck and you're like, oh my gosh, and now my car gets stalled, and now what? Make sure you have a couple, cans of, chili or vegetables or something, cans of corn, the emergency can of corn, just something that's going to be, that you're going to be okay, and silverware, obviously, Virgo list. But, yeah, this kind of thing, this thing kind of scares me, man. Now, there's been an increase in frequency of severe cyclones over the North Indian Ocean. Yeah, this is another thing that's happening. I mean, the storms over the ocean, the Gulf Stream changing, the temperatures in the ocean all but have completely pointed now to the fact that we are entering an ice age. I mean, that's going to affect the way plants grow too, by the way. So we got to figure out what we can do to heat our homes when we don't have wood. It's a lot to think about. Migrating tornadoes. Again, it's the tornadoes. Found to be more dangerous and deadlier in the southeastern United States. Migrating tornadoes. Are those the tornadoes that pack up suitcases? Hey, we're migrating. That's that. I can't even joke about it. It's like not even funny. That is really scary. So I don't know. These are definite earth changes. No doubt about it. All right, let's see. Going to the first page, at least there was only 2 pages. I mean, remember a few months ago, it was like 3 or 4 pages for a while. Now it's only 2 pages. So, in Bangladesh, 100,000 people were stranded as they had the highest rainfall in 60 years that hit Rangpur, Bangladesh. Oh my God, these people there's 2 people standing in the middle of the street and they are literally up to their waist in water. Like, oh my God, I can't even imagine that. Let's send sunshine to Bangladesh. They did find a rare earth-grazing meteoroid recorded over Europe. So if you want to go check that out, there's a picture of it on watchers.news. Paralyzing flash floods and damaging hail have hit Istanbul in Turkey. So paralyzing flash floods, damaging hail. Wow, hail again with this. See, this sounds like, do you guys remember the movie Day After Tomorrow? Let's sunshine to Bangladesh, sunshine to Turkey. Send, all kinds of sunshine energy. Now, 3 dead and nearly 100,000 evacuate as 2 massive wildfires explode in Northern California. Now, I wanted to tell you guys something that my friend wrote me. He read in the paper. He lives there in California, just north of Sacramento. And he told me that between California and Oregon, they had 14,000 lightning strikes. And this is what they're calling the lightning complex. And it's a phenomenon that happened, I think 11 or 12 years ago is the first time I ever heard of it, when I had to evacuate. When 1,000 fires were started like 12 years ago. But this past 30 days, 14,000 lightning strikes hit and 8,000 fires were started in Oregon and California alone. 8,000 fires. I mean, it's like little tiny fires, and then they grow into one fire, but that's what they were able to determine. It's like roving thunder and lightning clouds without rain. And they're just like striking the dry ass trees and catching them on fire. I mean, this planet is freaking volatile. More so than ever before. So Northern California, 3 people have died, 100,000 people had to evacuate when 2 massive wildfires exploded in California. Again with that. So let's send all the rain from around the world. Okay, not all the rain from around the world, but let's just try to imagine some of the rainfall. It's going back over to California, Oregon. British Columbia has been having fires. California, Oregon, Washington, and British Columbia, they all have fires right now. So, the volcano in Iceland called Grimsvötn is on alert. They raised the aviation color code from green to yellow. So they think that volcano is getting ready. So if you are in Iceland, anywhere near Grimsvötn volcano, you might want to be on alert as well. Ashfall produced by Sangay. Yay, this is my neighborhood. This is why I'm like, you can hear the asthma. I'm coughing. I already took my inhaler, so it's nothing I can do. That's why. Ashfall produced by Sangay volcano destroyed 11,200 hectares of crops. And here in Ecuador, it affected 24,500 farmers. I mean, it's a volcano. The giver gave way too much now. Destroyed the crops. Oh my God. Well, that means food prices will go up. Damn it. Well, okay, I guess here in Ecuador, send us rain. Send us warmth and rain. Send us warm rain. That's what we need, is warm rain. Yeah, we need rain, and so does Northern California. Rain does knock the ash out of the air. We don't need a lot, though. We do get rain every day or every few days, so we're actually going to be okay, but I did not know that. That's sad. 24,000 farmers were affected, man. There was a shallow 6.4 earthquake that hit the Tonga region. So I guess send prayers. Calm energy. Calm energy. Intense earthquake swarm hit the Salton Sea in California. So I don't even know where that is, Salton Sea. I think that's maybe down by San Bernardino, if I'm not mistaken, but all right, I don't even know what to do about the earthquake so much, but just reporting on it. Storm Alex to hit France with heavy rain and powerful winds. Storm Alex. So that was reported the day before yesterday, I believe. No, just yesterday. So it's probably hitting right now. Let's send some sunshine, calm energy to France. There was a 6.0 earthquake hit near the coast of New Britain in PNG. What the hell is PNG? Why don't I know these things? Yeah, 6.0 earthquake. So probably it's okay, but we could send them calm energy too. A bright fireball does light up the sky over Ohio in the United States. I saw the footage of this. It's worth looking at. Watchers.news. There was a video I saw of this on YouTube where they had footage from like 4 or 5 different sources, and depending on where the person was or what camera they used, some of them looked like the fireball was kind of green, some it looked blue, other people from their angle it was white. It was very strange. It was all the same fireball. So it was interesting to see it from different angles, and depending on the camera and where the person was, pretty crazy stuff. So I'm going to go to the weekly volcano report. Then we have 2 other things. Then we could hit the weird news and cheer ourselves up after the depressing news this week. There was only new activity and unrest for 2 volcanoes in the past week. So we also have ongoing activity for 12 volcanoes. Now that might sound like a lot, but to be honest, it's normal for 20 to 23 volcanoes to be active at any given time on Earth. So the fact that we're only down to 14 volcanoes, that's strange, honestly. But the new activity and unrest is Sangay, Ecuador, which had stopped for a few days and then it started up again. And also Grimsvötn in Iceland, which we already reported on. And the ongoing activity is in near the Chile-Argentinian border, Japan, Indonesia, Russia, Papua New Guinea, Peru. Oh, Sabancaya, Peru. Wow. And in Russia, again, and a bunch in Chile and Japan. So pretty much, typical Ring of Fire areas, of course. So there's that. Let me see. Oh, where are we? I think we're at the very end of this. All right. So yeah, here we go. At least 40 people are dead and 2 million tons of rice has been destroyed in Nigeria, in the area of Jigawa. They have seen the worst flood in 32 years that they have had in the past week. Actually, just yesterday. 40 people died, 2 million tons. That is excessive. 2 million tons of rice have been destroyed in Nigeria, in Jigawa. My God, let's send them over there in Nigeria will send them love and light and sunshine. And I just, that's just so sad. A fireball explodes over the Rio Grande do Sul and Santa Catarina, turning night into day in Brazil. I'm looking at this picture. It looks like the sun during the day. It looks like a massive sun. This is literally at night with the fireball. So this is also, just to be honest, it's worth seeing. Watchers.news. You guys could go check that out. I need some good news. What do you guys think? We should probably look at, I don't know if it's good news, but it's funny news. I think we need some cheering up, man. I know I do. This has been a kind of a depressing report. I'm sorry about that, guys. But we need to know what's going on. We got to go in with our eyes open. Like he says on Suspicious Observers, eyes open, no fear. That's how we need to look at it. And we have to also understand from a soul level, we all decided to come and be here at this time to watch this crazy stuff. I mean, on some level, we knew we were here. We're going to sit by and eat popcorn, and some of us be in the thick of it. Hopefully wearing our nice thick sweaters. Oh, what I wouldn't give for one of those $200 sweaters from Ireland, the pretty white ones. My ex-boyfriend had one of those that his, I think his dad went over to Ireland and brought him back a sweater. I stole it from him for a while, but he stole it back, damn it. It was a really nice sweater. I don't think he used it very much because he outgrew it. He gained weight and outgrew it. All right. Well, speaking of the Ice Age coming, I know two people in the world who are definitely going to survive the Ice Age. Wim Hof, who invented the Wim Hof method of diving in the icy waters. I think he's from Sweden. He just dives in the icy waters, hangs out with the glaciers. Races of polar bears, I'm just kidding. He probably doesn't do that. But that guy's going to definitely survive the Ice Age. And this guy, here's the headline. Man beats his own record after sitting in a tub of ice for over 2 hours. This is according to metro.co.uk. Joseph Koeberl, Koeberl, stayed on ice for 2.5 hours. And this is in Australia, and he went, he did this in public, so people could watch him. He had to battle a wave of pain, it says, to beat his own record for the longest body full contact with ice cubes. So, wow, he was in a glass box filled up to his shoulders with ice cubes for 2 hours, 30 minutes, 57 seconds. Ooh, I bet those 57 seconds were really counted to him. That happened on Saturday. So when he finished, then he enjoyed a celebratory ice cream. Oh my God, but of course. That's really crazy. So he was basically packed in 440 pounds of ice. And that's what they needed to fill up the box that he was in. And he wore nothing but swimming trunks. So he just wanted to focus on positive emotions the whole time. That's how he was able to fight the wave of pain, sitting in that cold ice. And he just was visualizing his positive emotions, and that helped him endure and dampen the wave of pain. So that's crazy. He did say, though, it felt really great on his back. Well, I can imagine. Takes out all the inflammation, honestly. I I always told my kids, if we ever go skiing or ice skating, if you ever fall and hurt yourself, just stay on the ice for a while, just lay around, because the ice will take the swelling out if you ever get hurt. I mean, at least that's my logic. All right, I'm just gonna go through the rest of the headlines here from metro.co.uk. It's been about a month since we looked at these, so we'll see the new ones. 2 bear cubs were caught fighting on a doorbell camera. That's really cute. The family thought that they might have an intruder outside until they checked their cameras and saw these little wild bear cubs. Oh my God. I'm going to ring the doorbell. No, I'm going to ring the doorbell. And where are they fighting? Like, we're just going to go over to this human's house and fight in front of their camera? Like, it's so cute. So strange. So, a security guard was filmed trying to strangle a colleague at a train station, and both guards have been suspended. It's kind of funny. It shows him like wrestling to the ground. He tried to strangle his colleague. I don't want to even know what it was about. Maybe he stole a sandwich. That makes people insane. You like have like the world's perfect sandwich and you have it for lunch and you hate your job. It's all drudgery, and then you go to eat it and someone else is eating your sandwich. And that kind of thing, that makes people murderous. It really does. Well, especially because they're hangry, or in this case, mangry. All right, here we go. This one was weird. I'm not going to read it, but a driver takes to the streets with an entire greenhouse strapped to the roof of his car, but without the glass panels in it. And it's not even the first time it's happened this year. I guess it's something that's not common in England. But I mean, it would be if you don't have a truck and you can't afford to hire a truck. It just makes sense. It's like, come on, leave the poor people who want to grow their own food alone. But, this couple, I guess, followed them around for... Yeah, it's like they had nothing better to do is what the reality was. This other person's just transporting a greenhouse, but they followed him and, actually took footage of it. So if you want to see it, it's here on metro.co.uk. Wow. A dad was paralyzed when police broke his neck and held his head up for a mugshot, and he died. He died later. I hope that those police go to jail. That's terrible. That's not weird at all, honestly. Then they literally have 2 articles about Donald Trump going to the hospital. And it's also not weird news. It's they do say that Donald Trump was spooked. I can imagine. This is a very spooky virus. Amazon had to remove distasteful coronavirus Halloween masks from sale. Because people could go, I guess, dressed as the coronavirus. That's the scariest thing I could think of. So, I mean, I don't see the big deals. I mean, I guess they thought it was distasteful. It's not making fun of people who had it. It's just saying, like, dude, this is the scariest thing I could think of. These are clever masks, but, I mean, it's, too soon, I guess. Hashtag too soon. I mean, but I'm looking at this going, well, it's a mask. Ironically enough, it's a coronavirus mask, but it is a mask. And it'll prevent you from getting the coronavirus. So, win-win, maybe? Plus his Halloween costume? I don't know. So, a security guard. Okay, we already read that one. They doubled up this time. So this one's really weird. A man was cleaning the back of his throat with his toothbrush when he accidentally swallowed it. Oh my God. That's... How the hell do you swallow I mean, it sounds like he was cleaning his esophagus. I mean, how the hell do you swallow a whole fucking toothbrush? They had to remove it from his stomach using surgery. They had to surgically remove a toothbrush from his stomach. How? He swallowed my toothbrush while brushing my teeth. Like, that right there to me is literally the weirdest thing I've maybe ever heard. Except when last week we reported that this lady, I think I reported on this one, that this lady had swallowed a snake that crawled down her throat while she was asleep. How the hell do you miss that? How do you not feel something slithering on your tongue or in your mouth? I mean, was she that drunk? Does she have no nerve endings on her head or face or mouth? Does she sleep that deep? Ambien. We're going to just go with Ambien. Okay, I have to pause this and look for another website to tell you guys headlines from. All right, guys, I found some really weird ones, so let's get on into it. News.sky.com. Here are the headlines that we haven't looked at in a while. Pilots reported seeing a guy in a jetpack at 3,000 feet above Los Angeles. Just tooling around 3,000 feet above the sky. Oh, yeah. This is crazy. There's a picture of it. He's just like, just tooling around the air, waving at the airplanes. Oh, my God. 3,000 feet above Los Angeles. That's crazy. Well, this is weird. World's oldest sperm has been found perfectly preserved after 100 million years. Okay, well, I have to go and see this. Oh, and it's gigantic. This is disgusting. Oh, of course, it's sperm found trapped in amber after 2 ostracods were enveloped by tree resin while in the throes of passion. What the actual hell? Okay, ostracod. First of all, so there's an artist drawing a rendition of what a mating ostracod looks like. What the hell is an ostracod? I'm looking at it. I can't tell you what it is. Bugs? Sea creatures? I don't know. I mean, they're amber, which is tree sap. I mean, are these like old-fashioned aphids from 100 million years ago? They look kind of like aphids. They're found trapped in amber, and the sperm is 50 million years older than the previous oldest fossil record, which belonged to an ostracod. Oh, okay, here we go. It is a small crustacean that has been in existence for 450 million years. Holy man. And it was found in modern-day Myanmar. Wow. So, based on the fossil record and the behavior of modern-day ostracods, the male uses their fifth limb to transfer extraordinarily long but immotile sperm into the female. So it doesn't move, and he transfers it with a limb, fifth limb. This is getting weirder and weirder. Well, it is a weird news. So the sperm itself was enormous too, 4.6 times the length of the female's body of the ostracod. What the hell? So it would be like 23 feet. If like, if we were going to like relate this to humans, it would be like a sperm that's 23 feet long. How the hell could she have a baby that how could that, I don't even know. I kind of don't want to know. Maybe we should move on to the next story. In the throes of passion. I mean, do you think that the ostracods had the ability to feel passion? How would they know that? I mean, they're just assuming. It's too weird. Remember the seed story where people started receiving things from China, seeds that they didn't order? Well, Amazon now has banned foreign seed sales in the United States after thousands of people received mystery packages from China. And here's a fun one. A man blows up a part of his house while trying to swat a fly. Oh my God. So this man was in his 80s. He was eating dinner Friday evening and he became annoyed. He had a fly buzzing around him, of course, like you do. And he was in France. He tried to chase the fly with an electric fly swatter. I did not know that even existed. And he accidentally blew up a part of his house. He was annoyed because it was buzzing around him while he was trying to eat. So he picked up his electronic fly swat and he took aim at it. And he was unaware of a gas cylinder leaking at his home in Dordogne. So a reaction occurred, of course, between the swat and the gas and caused an explosion and part of his kitchen to blow up. And it also damaged a section of his roof. And now that part of his house is, of course, uninhabitable. And you can't blame the fly. The fly is just being a fly, doing its fly business, which is to annoy us, apparently. It was just, it was his reaction to the fly. So, Art attacks Neil Buchanan, forced to deny that he is Banksy after being inundated with queries. Because we still don't really know the identity of Banksy. And if you don't know who Banksy is, it's spelled Banksy. Most people know who he is, but if you don't, he's the best graffiti artist in the world, and nobody knows who he is. And he has managed some amazing feats. I mean, like drawing or, spray painting. Really incredible art, like at the tops of buildings. In fact, I saw a Banksy original in the bathroom of a health food store in Berkeley on the mirror. It was amazing. I was like, oh my God, I know that's Banksy. He didn't sign it, but I know it was his. My kids were like saying the same thing, like, oh, that's a Banksy. That's so cool. All right. Mother was reunited with a baby after leaving the pram on the Peckham tram. She left the pram on the Peckham tram. Say that 5 times fast. Well, I'm glad she was reunited with her baby after leaving basically a stroller on the train. I love how they put it, though, the pram on the Peckham tram. Kim Kardashian decided to post a video to prove how many toes she has amid a wild theory. So apparently people are like posting she doesn't have enough or too many. I'm not enough interested to even read why she felt the need to show her feet to the world. It's weird. Well, a Florida city has decided to lift the ban on saggy pants 13 years after it was put into place. There's even a picture of people wearing saggy pants. The baggy pants are so saggy that the underwear shows. It has a picture of a guy with his underwear showing. And it's basically saying you can't do that, but apparently you can now. Of course they're going to lift the ban, now that it's not a trend anymore. Probably, right? Japanese military has been given instructions on UFOs. I think I did tell you guys this one before. Well, some of these stories kind of overlap between websites. We did talk about that before. So, yeah, with this one, I like the way this one's put. We heard about this one last week. A man is told that snake skin is not a legitimate face covering, especially when it's still attached to the snake. I mean, no one's going to go near the guy, right? Seriously, like, the guy with the snake on his face. I mean, that's the easiest way to social distance. No one is coming near that guy. They did find in Saudi Arabia 120,000-year-old human footprints. That's interesting. That is, in fact, this picture kind of looks like they're not barefoot, even. That's very interesting. I'm gonna go check that one out. That one looks very interesting indeed. I have to make sure. I have to see how much time we got left here. All right, not too much. So, they found footprints of humans, elephants, and other animals in an ancient dry lake bed in Saudi Arabia. Excuse me. This is in Tabuk. This is very interesting. All right. They're thinking that there were inland routes following the lakes and the rivers, and they might have been important to humans back then, of course, obviously. So they found in the fossil evidence human footprints. That's very, very interesting. I'm trying to see. Yeah, these they actually kind of look like they're I was gonna say naked footprints. Shoeless. Very interesting. So an alpaca invades a football pitch in West Yorkshire. Aw, well, he's probably just wanting to eat some grass. I didn't know they had alpacas in England. All right. Wow, there's a video, if you want to check it out on news.sky.com, a video of a rat who can detect landmines. There's another one of a kitten rescue from behind a car dashboard. And a commuter train blocks Hogwarts Express for the fans. I guess making them mad, I would imagine. Well, this one's scary. A humpback whale escaped a crocodile-infested river. How the hell did he get in there anyway? Well, we might have to go. Where's a crocodile-infested river? That's crazy. In Australia, of course. I should have guessed. So, 3 whales were initially spotted in the river. 2 of them escaped, and the remaining one had to make its way back to sea on its own. And they first saw it in the East Alligator River. They call it that? Are you kidding me right now? Oh, and it's a joke because it's a crocodile-infested river. That, it's like Australian humor. It's a crocodile-infested river, so of course we're going to call it the East Alligator River. Oh my God. It's like, I guess because of the high tides, they just swam into the river, and then they get stranded when the tide goes back out. So it was 18 miles inland. So that's crazy. They just made a wrong turn and ended up with the crocodiles, man. But it sounds like he got out, but man, that's scary for him. And another whale smashes the diving record with an amazing long stint underwater. If you want to read that, that's on news.sky.com. Evel Knievel's son, remember the famous daredevil from the 70s, his son has decided to sue Disney over a Toy Story 4 character. It's probably a character that references his father without asking permission. Didn't pay him anything. So, yeah, probably. I could see that. Rail workers have been suspended after a man cave was found under the railway. Yeah, I read this. They had like a little mini fridge and I think a TV setup and video game, the whole 9 yards. Full man cave. And, well, you're not supposed to do that at work. So, they got suspended. So, goofy dogs and laughing horses are up for the funniest pet photo award. I'm not going to read that article, but if you want to go see the pictures, again, news.sky.com. Now, here it is. This is the last one of the night, I'm sure. So, I'm going to make sure, see where we're at. Yeah, this is going to be the last story I read. Okay. Potty-mouthed parrots split up by zoo bosses after egging each other on to swear. Well, you know what, you guys? Parrots belong in the wild. This is the kind of thing that happens if they're collected and put in a zoo. Nobody has complained about the bolshy birds, but the bosses did not want them to upset the youngest visitors. So there's a picture of this beautiful bird. She's like a gray parrot. Jade is her name, and she's one of 5 birds that joined the Lincolnshire Wildlife Center. They have a colony of 200 gray parrots, and she joined there in August. But 5 of these parrots are foul-mouthed, and they had to be separated because they were encouraging each other to swear at the zoo. Now, they named the parrots Billy, Eric, Tyson, Jade, and Elsie. And they joined up in August, and I guess they were going to probably teach the other birds how to swear. But they just started ruffling a few feathers with their foul language. Ruffling the feathers of people who don't have them. They said, "We saw it very quickly, and we were quite used to parrots swearing, but we've never had 5 of them at once, at the same time, that will swear, so, oops." They had to split them up. So, it says, most parrots do clam up when they're outside. Yeah, but for some reason, these 5, they relish it. They enjoyed it. They enjoy talking in front of people. Oh, it's so funny. The parrots have since been distributed to different areas of the park, so they do not set each other off. Oh, baby birds. Mr. Nichols explained that nobody had complained about the parrots, but they were separated for the safety sake of the young visitors in the hopes that they would pick up natural calls from the other African gray parrots. That's funny. So I'm assuming that these parrots probably were owned by people who didn't know what to do anymore with them, or maybe they died, who knows. And they swear around the birds, and the birds learn the habit. So strange. Oh, here it says, yeah, people have come to us. They think it's highly amusing, but we haven't had a complaint. But when a parrot tells you to fuck off, it amuses people very highly. And it pretty much brings a smile to a pretty hard year. Yeah, you go to the zoo and you're like, hi, little guy. And then the parrot tells you to F off. That's... Welcome to 2020. Oh my goodness. It says this park also became home to a parrot named Chico, who made headlines in September after he learned how to sing a range of pop songs, including Beyonce's If I Were a Boy. Oh my God. Well, that's it for the evening, and that's it for the week. I hope that you have enjoyed this week's worth of, and tonight's episode of, Metaphysical Soul Speak, the podcast. And I wanted to say thank you to those of you who have liked and favorited and subscribed, or whatever it's called, on the app that you're using. And especially for those of you who have shared this week. It is hard for me to share to Facebook groups with millions of people in them, because usually the administrators say, sorry, you can't do that, and I either get kicked out of the group or they just immediately erase it, and nobody gets the word out. I'm just trying to get the word out. So for those of you who have actually put me in your Facebook groups and told your Twitter followers and your Instagram followers about the show, you could always say I'm at anchor.fm/metaphysical, or just tell them to look it up on, Spotify, whatever. I just wanted to say thank you to those of you who have done that for me. I really, really need to be able to make a living from my passion, which is this podcast, bringing you guys the cool, funny, strange, entertaining topics that I do. And every day is unique. And with that, I will be back on Monday with all unique and original programming, just like always. We're going to start a brand new book on Monday, and it's a surprise even to me. So I'm going to have to figure out, what that book will be. But that's it. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I love each and every one of you, and thank you so much for your continued faith and confidence in me, myself, my show, my abilities. And that's it. That's all she wrote. I'm signing off with peace and joy and the high vibes of the holy fifth dimension. Peace. Metaphysical Soul Speak is run on sponsors and listener support. This means listeners like you. If you are so inclined to support my efforts and my little podcast, please visit me at anchor.fm/metaphysical and pledge an amount of your choosing today. Thank you.